Another edition of What the Fuck happenings in the YouTube atheist community. So anyway, in Stickam last night. First thing I'd say, sorry I didn't repost links when I did the video. Just because the room did change, so there was a couple people mentioned that they missed it, but they didn't really miss it because we were in different rooms. So if debate in Mendham is not there and the video's still up, there's probably in debate in Mendham 2 or something else. If the video's up, then I'm in the room. I take the video down as soon as I leave the room permanently. So yeah, we were in there a while. I had to do some work in the morning, so I only stayed till 5 o'clock or something. So anyway, some good conversations, some good arguments, whatnot. We've first talked about bankruptcy. Remy still, the capitalist, couldn't really get the concept that the people pay for bankruptcy, the consumers pay for that. Then I got into a discussion about the polygraph, just because I was again making the argument that lie detectors would be a good way to reform government and keep it accountable, so that we could have a government that was just rules instead of rulers, just umpires. And the way we keep the umpires honest is by giving them lie detector tests. And it's better than what we have now at any rate. So anyway, people give me this argument, polygraphs don't work and all this crap. And then it got into an argument about the fact that I believe Christians are all lying. That fundamentally Christians, their faith is demonstrated to be very thin, very, they just have a veil of faith. It's paper thin tissue, because they will compromise God, so easily. They will ignore what the Bible says, and they will commit trivial, stupid sins. And so the bottom line is they really don't believe in God. They want God to exist. They wish for it, but they don't really believe it when push comes to the shove. And it's all about just covering the bases kind of thing. They just want to protect themselves against the possibility of it being the truth. And otherwise, it's just a social club. It's just they want to belong to the right kind of people kind of thing. And they don't want to be thought of as a weirdo or, a undecent person. And that's all it comes down to. So anyway, that was my argument, and they said, I can't possibly argue that. It's not, somehow I broke some kind of rule. And, I say bullshit to that. I can logically defend it. You can see the psychology in the average religious person. So anyway, that was Stickam. I won't go through the whole thing. I'd just be wasting time. All right, I did watch that new Zeitgeist movie, and yeah, what a piece of shit. So I'll do a video on that eventually, I guess. It's 35% good poetry, It talks about the evil capitalist system, great. The system's got to change, great. Unsustainability, great. But it's just another cult. I mean, they start using these words like emergent and symbiotic, like we're going to achieve some symbioticness with the nature and the world, and nature's an idiot. There's nothing to be symbiotic with. It's dumb, crude forces. If we're going to eke out an existence here that means something, it's not going to be because we're going to do what nature says. We're going to have to do a little better than that. But anyway, yeah, it just sounded very Scientology. That's the undercurrent of it was just, it just sounded like a cult. I mean, grab hold of these other ambiguous bullshit ideas. Let go of the old bullshit ideas and grab some new bullshit ideas. And you just gotta let go of bullshit, period. Just face the fact of what we are, and then learn how to, feed our psychology without fucking each other over. That's the bottom line. Straighten the lines, in the world. Make them more efficient. The line between production and consumption on the economy. Make it really simple, straightforward. Let's take the wheel that we're running is a little square, and we just got to round the corners. Just got to make the wheel more round. So anyway, enough on that shit. So the Amazing Atheist, 3 videos, I guess. One of them, I did a video response to, which was the stupid, answer video. Like we don't have answers, but answers are hard work and all that crap. And yet he doesn't offer any discussion of the important substantive policy that might make the world right. Instead, it's just all criticism and complaint, which is pretty damn useless. Then he did a puke video, and it was kind of, I was waiting for that, actually. I was saying to myself, well, it's, time for somebody to give me a video about, how many times they puked last night or something. But anyway, and then he did, the little rant on the fact that prayer's not a solution. And, it's like obvious to everybody who's an atheist already that, yeah, duh. So I don't know where that was going. The fact that prayer does not work is pretty obvious. So anyway, Captain Awesome, no new video. Fake Sagan, nothing new. Cody again, just complaining about the don't vote, the system sucks, don't do anything, fuck you, fuck them, fuck me, fuck everything. Just plain stupid. I mean, look, if you don't want to vote, you could at least show up to write something in. You could write in, I don't want to vote. At least that would say something. You could say freedom, since you're a big advocate of freedom. You could just write freedom in there, okay? You could say something. You could do something with your vote. This whole idea that it's, somehow you're dirtying your hands by even attempting to work the system is just it's just childish. Sorry, but that's all it is. It's just childish nonsense. I don't want to play with you because, you're a boogerhead, So the government's a boogerhead and you won't play with it. I mean, it's just, fuck you. Tommy from the Bronx did a really dumb video about, he still doesn't know who to vote for. I mean, really, Tommy. Okay, you're going to put, a bunch of right-wing, loony, religious nuts, 3 more of them on the Supreme Court, take you 20 years to fix that problem. That's what McCain will do. And McCain is going to give, $300 or $400 billion to the richest people on the planet in tax cuts. So, I mean, those two policy alone isn't enough to persuade you that there's a huge difference between these two candidates. I mean, damn. And then he did a tribute video to his father. It was pretty good. He's kind of long, but he's, did some Elvis songs, and he had, got all crafty, and he glued a bunch of things and sparklies on his shirt and, or jacket, whatever it is. You get all Elvis-y. And so it's pretty good. It takes guts to do that kind of shit. So, got to give him credit for that one. So, good video. Jesus freak. Shit. He did some Tiny Sin video. I didn't even bother listening to that one. Because you'll burn in hell on these tiny sins. And yeah, he's completely full of tiny sins. I mean, he's an egomaniacal, selfish, what's the word for, gluttonous. He spends too much money on bullshit and nonsense, self-aggrandizements, and he gets divorced, which is, big, fat, juicy sin. So he's going to hell. So he has no reason to be preaching. Well, anyway, and then his second video was why we must evangelize. And the reason why you evangelize is because you're an egomaniac. I mean, your story, your religious doctrine story, has been told 4 million different ways. You think you're more articulate than the popes and all those bishop guys, Bishop Hootie and the other Hootie bishop guy, and they do TV shows and they talk all neat and pretty. You think you're more eloquent than they are? You're talking the same bullshit, the same old, tired, dead story. And so what are you talking about? You don't need to evangelize. What you need to do is get a better line of rhetoric, okay? Because you're just preaching the same old, tired nonsense. At least the rest of us here on YouTube are talking about something. We're trying to talk about something new, a future, progress. We're not stuck in, year 12. We're all the way up to a 2000 plus. You stupid fucktard. Veritas 48. Okay, he did a couple of funny videos to me anyway. Alright, so one of them was a response video about his conversion to Christianity and how he's a little bit offended that people would analyze his psychology. But I mean, there really is psychology at play when you go through some life experience where your mother turns into a demon and all this other crap. So, I mean, there's reason to say, well, maybe yours is a over-emotional reaction, your conversion. But whatever. Let's just say you're this rational Christian you want to call yourself. And then the second video was like a weird lament about, well, Christians are all fucktards, and it's too bad they can't talk about anything that means anything. And sometimes I like just talking to somebody about science and love and giving a damn about society, and Christians are suck at that. And I can have a better conversation with an atheist on those kind of subjects. And it was a very he was very eloquent, in what he wrote. I mean, he does write well. But anyway, part of the problem is you think of the stories you got in the Bible. I mean, you're a crazy loony dog God. Yeah, but he expects me to go out, and find a little sheep, a little lamb, and cut its throat and bleed it into a bucket, and then take the blood and smear it on my fucking wall so God won't kill me. I mean, who the fuck? How can you have a conversation with people who believe that shit? I mean, come on. You're not gonna have a rational conversation or a meaningful conversation, because you'd have to be literally almost a babbling idiot to believe, or even want, or even have any interest, even if there existed such a fucktarded God. I mean, you just reject the idea. You'd want to have a revolution. You should say, God, we can't let that loony be in control. I mean, it decides who lives and dies by who smears the most blood above their door. I mean, fuck that shit.